Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name is Kamara.
My name's Amir.
And today's topic is communicationships.
And what questions you should ask when you're in a communicationship.
What is a communicationship?
All right. In Islam, we don't date, right?
We don't date like how people date today.
Right.
It's a process.
It's a process of kind of meeting up and supervised outings.
Yeah, not like the secret kind of stuff where like no one really knows, you know?
Right. There's a process of where, hopefully the guy talks to the father and you get permission to speak to his daughter, and then the communicationship officially begins.
We both got like a list of questions that we feel you should definitely ask when you're in communication. The first question you should ask a man when you are in this communicationship, you need to find out if he's already married. Because being a Muslim and a man can have multiple wives, you want to know if you're marrying someone who already got a wife. You got to know this.
Yeah, there's a lot of women out there who want to, when they enter a marriage like this, they think that, it doesn't matter if he has a wife already.
Oh, that causes a lot of problems.
It causes a lot of struggles in the future.
It does.
And most of the time, it does not work out. For the guy, you have to approach this woman's father. So the first thing I would ask is, do you have any advice on talking to your dad?
That's good.
Are there? I mean, there might be certain things, certain touchy subjects.
Another question you should ask is, have you ever been married before and why did it end? If someone has been married before, you want to know why it ended because that thing may affect you. You don't think so?
That's a little, a little personal. Like,
you're trying to get married to this person, you gotta get a little personal.
You need to know about their previous relationships.
Not their previous relationships or previous marriage.
The next question that you should ask is, what sets you claim? By this I mean,
set you claim.
What are you, Sunni, Shiite, or Sufi? In Islam, there are different sects which have kind of like different ideologies, and sometimes
I think more different opinions.
Different ideologies.
Okay.
And sometimes with that, it's very difficult when you're crossing these bounds. So, but if you're comfortable with that, that's fine. It's all up to you.
Yeah, you should be aware. Why do you keep elbowing me? Like,
yeah,
I know after you're done.
You just go.
I'm going. Do you plan on getting a second wife? These things you should know about because...
Man, you and the second wife.
Listen, people... Men are messed up, okay? You need to know this. You need to be aware of their plans before you get married to them. Because you don't want to come home one day and they're talking about, hey, by the way, I'm married.
Another good question is to ask a Muslim, especially if they've recently converted, is how long have they been Muslim? Some individuals do convert to Islam and they might have just been Muslim for a week. You might want to know that.
That's true. Are you okay with, asking a person if they're okay with you going to work or going to school? Because some people, some guys are like, you're going to school.
Definitely. Yeah, I had a similar question. I said that you should ask the woman, if she plans to work or if she plans to be a stay-at-home mom. And with that, it might also be important to know what's her educational level. Is she the type of person that you want at home with your child?
Are you able to financially support me if I decide to be a stay-at-home mom? That's a great question.
That is a great question.
Because you can't, you can't try to get married and expect for your wife to, work when she's like, hey, I don't have to work. Okay, but can you support me if I decide not to work? No,
we gotta get serious.
We are serious, babe.
We gotta get serious.
This is seriousness.
You should try and find out her educational level, her or his.
Oh, and goals. That's what I put for mine.
Right.
What are your goals and ambitions?
Yeah, what is your ambition?
What do you want from life?
What do you want from me?
What is your current occupation? You want to know what someone does.
Have you ever been arrested?
Ooh, I had that one on my list too. You definitely want to know.
Right. You don't wanna accidentally marry a sexual predator.
Hey, that was my question.
What was your question?
Are you a sex offender?
If she's a sex offender, then no. If she's a sex offender, then no.
No.
That's what you said.
You have to Google.
That's exactly how you said it. In one of it. Oh, no. If she's a sex offender, then no.
I said that in the video?
Yeah, you did.
In that tone, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was like, I don't ever remember saying that in the video.
Okay.
But definitely Google their name before you guys talk. That's what I had to do. I had to do, but that's what I did.
A great question to ask them is whether or not they pray.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
whether or not they read the Quran.
Yeah, that's a good one. You want to know that kind of stuff.
At the end of the day, we're all getting married for Islam. So if you ask them all the questions
about their personality,
about their personality, this, that, and the other, and you don't focus on the Islam, you might get a great person who's not good for your deen. And we want someone who's good for our deen.
Okay, we're not doing a Nasheed label song right now. You want to ask a person, how do they feel about like extremism? Because people are crazy. You need to know if someone's getting like radicalized because people are crazy.
Yeah, people are being recruited by the FBI every day.
Let's not use trigger words.
Next question, really important. How does marriage work in your culture?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right.
Babe, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a great question. That was my question.
Up?
In Islam, there's a lot of different cultures, and culturally
Muslims
speaking,
have different cultures.
Muslims have different cultures, yeah. And they have different practices for getting married. There would be comments in the video like, oh, Islam says this, that, and the other. Shut it. You know dang well that every culture has their own way of getting married.
How do you expect me to dress? That's a question you want to ask someone. How do you expect? Do you expect me to wear abayas all the time? Do you expect me to wear hijab all the time? Do you expect me not to wear hijab? Because some brothers don't want you to wear hijab. You want to know how this person expects you to dress. Because if you're not like ready to dress to their standard, then you got to ask yourself, man, am I ready for this person?
A question that was along those lines that I had was, if the woman isn't covering at the time, will you cover when we get married? Maybe she will. She might not be covering now, but if you get married, she'll cover. And then you're like, oh man, if that was your big red check box checked off, you're good to go.
Big red check box. Can you cook? That's the question you want to ask him. You want to make sure that he can feed himself if you decide to walk out of the house and go to like work or something. He's like staying at home for like a day because he has the day off.
What?
Can he cook?
Can she cook?
Okay, that's a question you want to ask. But can he cook?
If
you have to worry about him. That he's going to starve.
If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, you better be able to cook some good food.
I think if you want to survive, you need to know how to cook good food.
Whatever.
You can't leave to work and then come home, your husband like, I haven't eaten since 6 a.m. because that's when you last cooked me breakfast. And then you're like, well, why didn't you go in the kitchen? I don't know what to do in there. Then you like, don't make that face. I mean, alhamdulillah, you know how to cook. I don't have to worry about that. But there are people out there who have to worry about their husband starving because they don't know how to cook.
Next question. Going along with food, a good question to ask is whether or not they eat halal dhabiha, meat only.
That's a good question.
Because
there's differences of opinion. There's differences of opinions, and you want to know what your future spouse follows.
You don't want to accidentally give them some regular chicken.
Oh, when they only eat hand-slaughtered chicken.
Hand-slaughtered. Only hand-slaughtered.
And they only eat, like, halal everything, like halal bread.
Yeah. Halal flour.
Halal crackers.
Halal candy.
Halal water. Halal candy is actually...
I know.
Do they talk during the movie? If you guys watch movies. I guess you want to find out if they watch movies or not. And if they do they talk during the movie? That's a great question to ask. Because some people, they talk during the movie.
What was that? Oh. Yeah. Maybe. Let's see.
Try to find something that is like directed towards me.
Nah, I don't have anything like that. I'm not a hater. You're a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm a truther.
What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Are you guys going to have similar qualities? Are you guys going to be able to play sports? Or does she only like to go on short walks?
Hey. I told you that because I wanted to spend time with you.
He said, man, last night she tells me, Amir, I want to do stuff with you. And she says, you know, I want to go places.
No.
You know, we go places.
That's not what I said.
I want to take
said, well,
short
what
walks.
do you? No. You said,
I'm
what do you
like-
want to do? I said, well, no. You said, well, what would you like to do? I said, well, I like walking, taking walks with you, and taking trips with you.
Right.
You said short. I didn't say short.
Kamara likes to stand still.
Lies. Mary doesn't know me.
Yes, I do. Man. I know you well.
Okay.
I like to be active.
I
like to be active.
I cheer you on so well.
Right. She is my supporter in my active activities.
Do you have any mental health issues that I need to know about?
Definitely.
You definitely want to ask that person. Because, I mean, depression is real. Anxiety is real. There are many mental disorders that the Muslim community tries to ignore, but they're real. So you want to know what you're getting yourself into when you're, trying to get married. You want to be aware of...
Definitely. You want to ask them, do you have any diseases or disabilities that I need to be aware about? Because some people have syphilis, other people have STDs, diabetes, I have asthma. Some things you might need to know about.
What you didn't tell me about?
You didn't ask. You should have watched our video.
Yeah. Ask questions, because apparently no one responds and answers if you don't ask. You don't know.
Yeah, everyone's not an open book,
No, you have to ask. Do you like pets? That's a great question to ask.
I love pets.
Lies. You guys, lying.
I love looking at pets. I never said that I liked having a pet of my own.
You implied that you were going to get me one.
No.
He knew how much I liked cats. Oh, gosh, I don't even think about it.
Yeah, cats is too much of an active activity. Do you want to have kids?
Oh, that's a good one.
How many kids do you want?
That's a good... When do you want to have children?
Yes, that's a good question. When do you want to have children? Do you want them immediately?
Do you want to wait? Wait a little bit. Let's get to know each other.
You should wait. I would not recommend having children right away. Yeah. Are you willing to relocate?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I just married you. I'm about to move you out away from your family. How you feel about that?
That makes me sad.
For the guys and sometimes for the girls out there, will you take down some of those pictures you have on social media, because I don't like them?
Yep. That's a question you gotta be willing to ask. Yeah. But sometimes that only happens after marriage, because you can't be not married to someone talking about, hey, I own you, take out your pictures, take them down. Yeah. You gotta wait till after you're married, but you gotta ask them if they're willing.
Ask them if they're willing, and then watch what they do. Some of them, they might just take the photos down right away, right? And others, they might wait around like, and then that might be a little red flag.
It might be maybe orange, maybe yellow, definitely not green.
Yeah. Yellow does mean, yellow means go for me. I never stop.
Yellow means go. Isn't that like a foul flag?
I never stop on yellow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
If it's yellow, I'm going. It's got to be red or it's dead. The last question that you have to ask is
there anything I should know about?
Is there anything I should know?
Any information that's going to cause problems in our marriage.
Right. This is a really broad question, but you'd be surprised what you hear. Because, hey, you don't know. You might have went through all these questions, and he might just come out like, man, he or she.
Okay, I drink. I'm sorry.
I drink. Oh yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good question. Do you drink?
A question that you should ask is, do they drink?
Do they smoke weed? You want to know
smoke?
You got to know these things, because it's legal in California. So.
Do they think that weed is okay in Islam?
That's a great question.
Does it connect them to a higher power? You came up with a great list, babe. I think you did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate this. I feel like I used to be sincere.
Vote in the comment section below who had better questions.
Wow.
I believe.
Wow, I knew you had ulterior motives. You just want people to vote for you.
Man, vote in the comment section below.
We could put a poll up.
A poll?
Yeah, I think it's in one of these corners. Look in one of the corners. We'll put a poll.
We'll put a poll up. Vote Amir. I believe in you guys.
You're not running for president.
Marriage Mondays was my idea. Kamara allowed me to use her channel for our forum. I really appreciate you guys' support. Kamara also appreciates the support.
Thanks for talking for me.
Vote for Amir now.
Okay.
You got anything to say to the people?
No. Amir's not running for president.
You're fake news.
Fake news.
You're fake news, babe.
Right, let's move on to the comments.
Let me do it this time, babe.
Go ahead.
It's comment time. Real news. What you got for us, babe?
Okay.
You're the comment reader.
This is what I got. Do you guys really love each other? Question mark. I'm just curious. You're going to have to wait until next week when we talk about our part 2 of our story. You actually might even have to wait till part 3 of our story. Hey!
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Is Amir a revert? Not because he's black, you know. I'm not saying he's a revert because he's black, but him being black is making me question. Is he a revert?
I've had this question a lot. Just because being African American, it comes with the territory.
It definitely does.
But we'll be doing a segment on getting to know us, so you'll get to know me then.
You'll find out.
You'll find out. The truth will set you free. Is that in a movie?
I don't know.
The truth will set you free.
It's a saying.
Actually, no, the truth ain't gonna set you free. You're gonna ask the same question to the next nigga.
I love how you guys got straight to the story.
Gotta get straight to
Just
the
a
point.
couple of Q&As for the Q&A. Oh, I see what they did there.
Mm-hmm.
Question 1. What happens if you find a guy that is too good? Is it too good to be true? Or should you give it a chance in case he is the way he is? Question 2. What happens if you find the right guy that thinks too highly of you and over-compliments you? Should you run? Those are great questions.
Those are great questions. You gotta play it by time. You give it a little time to manifest itself. You never give people too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
I never feel like someone's too good.
True. Everyone has flaws.
Right.
Everyone has flaws.
No one is too good for you. You're amazing.
You're so sweet.
Yeah, that's how you gotta feel about yourself.
Yeah, this is my husband, you guys.
Yeah.
Just letting everyone know.
All right. Next.
Wait, there's a second part to it.
I mean that kind of
no, when someone overcompliments, overcomplimenting that makes you a little uncomfortable. So I would just be like, hey, like I appreciate, like I see that you're kind of liking me, but I need you to tone down the comments. Like,
right.
You don't need to call me beautiful every single time we meet. You don't need to say how amazing I am. Like, I'm not trying to be conceited, but it's making me uncomfortable. I was watching a previous video of yours, and you said your husband is Moroccan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's of Moroccan descent. But how can he be of Moroccan descent if he's African American? I'm part Moroccan and part African American, among other things. Okay.
All right, so...
Hold on. Okay, so they are Moroccan and part African American.
Okay.
So they're of Moroccan descent, but they're African American.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
we
established that.
We're going on a great point right now.
And I'm not quite sure it's probable for African Americans to have Moroccan ancestry. Yet you yourself have Moroccan ancestry. Okay, I'm going to continue. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because Moroccans weren't involved in the slave trade. I don't mean to sound rude. I'm just confused and curious. I love your channel and literally went through all your videos because I found them so great. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But I can't stop wondering about your comment in this video, being part Moroccan myself.
Well, first and foremost, you're African American and Moroccan, so it's a very interesting question that you would ask how I could be the same thing. But if you want, I can give you a short history lesson. During the time of the slave trade, the Moroccans had a lot of pirates, right? And the European nations actually paid the pirates so that their ships could get safe passage from Africa to Europe. So America, when they were, doing the slave trade, a lot of times the pirates from Morocco and around that area would attack their ships and take their cargo, which would be the slaves. And so America signed a treaty with Morocco, and because of this, a lot of Moroccans came over to the Americas where they owned slaves themselves. But, as we all know, anyone who had an ounce of, who was dark-skinned eventually with the, was it 3/4 law?
Something like that.
3/4 law or something. And so anyone who had dark skin essentially became a slave at that point.
Anyone who had an ounce of blood, pretty much.
And so from that, a lot of the African American slave owners ended up becoming slaves themselves.
So you mean Moroccan slave owners?
Moroccan slave owners, or just African slave owners who had come from their countries, and that's how things happen. You know, it's crazy. But you gotta open up your mind, do your research.
So true.
Appreciate you guys commenting. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with another video.